In 1911, Orville Ward Owen uncovered a dark secret. William Shakespeare was a fraud. Reading Philip Sidney's Arcadia, Owen discovered a complex secret code hidden in the text. Deciphering it led to a shocking revelation. Sir Francis Bacon was the real author of all Shakespeare's work. Owen built a cipher wheel using 10,000 feet of cloth. The contraption revealed there was a box at the bottom of the Wye River, containing proof that Bacon was the real genius behind the bard. The story was featured in the New York Times, but not for making literary history. Owen dredged up the river. When he got to the bottom, there was nothing but sludge. This story is just one of hundreds that have emerged since Shakespeare's death in 1616, questioning the authorship of his work. We know a man called William Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon, worked as an actor in London, and returned to his hometown before his death. But that's all we can be sure of. A growing academic contingent, including scholars O.J. Todd and William Rubinstein, claims the 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and 5 poems he's credited with were actually someone else's work. So have we been tricked for 4 centuries? Shakespeare's plays are erudite and wide-ranging. They show intimate knowledge of the royal court, foreign nobility, exotic cultures, and aristocratic sports. So can they really be the work of a glove-maker's son from the suburbs? Estimates put Shakespeare's vocabulary at up to 29,000 words, a huge amount even now. With no university education and no known record of his school attendance, how likely is it that he revolutionized the English language? More perplexing still, his works display technical knowledge almost unknown at the time. For example, the tragedy Coriolanus refers to the human circulatory system. Then, a scientific breakthrough, only those mixing in the most elite circles would have known about it. Its discoverer, William Harvey, was none other than Francis Bacon's best buddy. And the play was first published after Shakespeare's death. Cultural giants such as Walt Whitman, Orson Welles, Sigmund Freud, and Charlie Chaplin all alleged Shakespeare's legend was created after his death, with Francis Bacon the most likely suspect. Toby Matthew, one of Bacon's closest aides, once wrote that he was known to the world as another name. Could this be what he was alluding to? Contemporary theatre records only ever refer to Shakespeare as an actor. Even his death records describe him as a gent rather than a playwright. Could critic Delia Bacon have been onto something when she wrote that he was no more than a stupid, illiterate, third-rate play actor? With only 6 surviving signatures, each a barely legible scrawl, can we even be sure that William Shakespeare had the dexterity to write 1 play, let alone 37? Yet these arguments are often dismissed as being motivated by baseless snobbery. It's very likely that Shakespeare attended local King Edward VI grammar school because his father held an official magistrate position. The school gave an unusually rigorous education including Latin, classical text, and astronomy. Given this, his breadth of knowledge isn't that surprising. Then, of course, there's the Globe Theatre. Its deeds show that its then owner, Shakespeare, was the same lad from Stratford. Claims that he was only ever mentioned as an actor are not wholly substantiated. Beyond the theatre, it's clear he received huge critical acclaim. John Davis's 1610 poem, The Scourge of Folly, describes him as our English Terence, then another word for playwright. And as for the posthumous plays, although not published till later, all of them had been performed in Shakespeare's lifetime, and by Shakespeare's acting company. Financial records survive showing Shakespeare was also an astute businessman. His was an age known for its social disparities. It's very unlikely he would have had any real financial opportunities were he simply a jobbing actor. In 2012, Roland Emmerich directed Anonymous, a movie suggesting Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, was the real man at the heart of the mystery. With so many possible contenders for Shakespeare's crown and so few records, will we ever know the answer? Volumes of research have been dedicated to unravelling Shakespeare's identity, and yet no consensus has been formed. There is nothing solid disproving Will's skills. But as Mark Twain wrote in Is Shakespeare Dead? So far as anybody actually knows and can prove, Shakespeare of Stratford-on-Avon never wrote a play in his life. And with it looking unlikely definitive evidence will ever be found, There's no urgency to rethink history as we know it,